If you're a woman over 50 years old and the money is tight right now, this video is 21 jobs that I put together for us. Not manifest your abundance, not invest and wait 2 years. Jobs that can put money in your hands in days or weeks, a few hours a week if that's all your life allows, and more if you treat them like real work, because they are. And quick, so you know who made this list. I'm not a job board and I'm not guessing. I rebuilt my own money at 50 years old from scratch. So every idea here had to pass my test, not Pinterest. Does it pay soon? Does it respect your time? And would it work for a woman with no cushion to fall back on? The kind of woman who has been on her own whole support system. 21 made the cut, 21 jobs. And stay to the end because number 21 is the one that I actually chose for myself. And then I'll tell you exactly why. But first, here's what I threw out so you know what this list is. Anything that says build an audience for 18 months and then maybe monetize. Anything requiring certificate that you'd have to go into debt to get. Anything that quietly assumes that you have a husband's income, a nest egg, or a spare room in a house that you own. If it only works for women who already have a safety net, it did not make my list. And one rule before I talk about job number one. Pick what you can stand, not what looks cute on somebody's Pinterest. When you've been the strong one your whole life, the wrong side job, it doesn't just tire you out. It becomes one more unpaid feeling shift that you end up resenting. So as we go, ask yourself two things. What am I already good at? And what have I been doing for free all those years because that's just who I am? So hold that second question, especially because it's about to come up a lot. And one note on money before we start. Unless I give you a specific number, assume that most of these jobs, they start around at $20 or $25 an hour, and they climb from there with skill and reputation. The rates change and they vary by city. So before you commit to anything, always check the rates where you live. All right. Now, let's talk about job number one. And this is a trend that I've been watching with my own eyes. Fitness instructor for people over 50 years old. Gyms and community centers, they are adding classes built specifically for our bodies. Chair fitness, gentle strength, gentle yoga, balance classes. In my gym, there's a class called Aurora for that age bracket. And here's the part that I love. Some of these fitness centers, they offer certification classes themselves. So you don't have to go to get the certification outside anymore. So ask the gyms near you what they require and what they offer, because who better to lead a room of 50 plus women than a 50 plus woman who understand the needs in that room personally, right? So you're not competing with the 25-year-old instructors. You're offering something that she cannot. I am you, and I'm up right here doing it. Another thing that you might consider, if they don't have a position for you available, so meaning that time in the schedule, you can always start as a substitute instructor once you get the certification, because gyms, they change their schedule almost every 3 months. So a spot might open for you, and because you've been substituting as an instructor, they're used to you, so it's much easier to give the class to someone that they know. Job number two, laundry service. And let me tell you how I know this one is real. Years ago, I used to fold clothes for new moms, and I could not believe that people were actually paying me to fold their baby's clothes. I'm folding onesies and I'm thinking, this is money? Then I became a mom myself, and baby, I understand completely. There are exhausted moms out there right now who will happily pay you to wash, dry, and fold. Charge per load or per pound. It's honest, it's flexible, and I am living proof that people actually pay for it. And if you're wondering where you can start, I had listed my services on TaskRabbit.com, and I did that for $20 an hour. Okay, and you can choose the size of the basket too. So get creative with how you're pricing. All right, job number three, cleaning. And let me talk about this one for a minute, because baby, I have opinions. Busy professionals and overwhelmed moms, they are using cleaning services constantly. Yes, even in this economy, they are. And my beef with a lot of those companies, if you are a real clean freak, you can tell they don't do a great job because they're using 1980 vacuum cleaners, cleaning products that you would never allow in your own house. So calling it a deep clean when that was a light dusting with attitude that they did. And I suspect the wages have a lot to do with it because the company is a middleman paying people next to nothing. So here's the opportunity for you. If your community knows you and they know that you are a clean freak, offer your deep cleaning services. A friend of mine is actually starting her cleaning services right now, and I know for a fact that I will use her services because I have seen that woman clean. That's the whole business model. Be the person whose standards that people have witnessed. Job number 4, alterations and simple mending, hems, zippers, taking things in. And I've paid for this myself, so I know the demand. When I was losing weight and living between sizes, I was not about to buy a whole new wardrobe knowing more weight was coming off. So I paid a woman to take my clothes in 2 or 3 inches at a time. Weddings, special occasions, the pants that are always too long. If you can make clothes obey a body again, people will pay you quietly and gratefully and repeatedly. Your storefront is just a flyer at the dry cleaner. And also custom sewing, it counts in this category too. Because let me tell you a quick story. I needed a towel wrap, the spa kind that you wrap around you, because the regular ones, they never fit around a person who is gifted with a big bust like me. So you know where I ended up? Of course, YouTube. And there was a lady easily in her 60s with a whole channel showing how to turn an ordinary towel into a fitted towel that you can wrap around and add Velcro to it. So believe it or not, resourceful women like her are out here turning a sewing machine into a towel in paid orders. I also have a client who takes custom orders. So you know the family who always like wearing matching clothes. So this is what my client does. She has it online. She has a video showing people how to take their measurements. She does a whole Zoom call where she gets more specific about the style and design that they want. They choose the fabric and then she prepares everything and then she ships it to them. So there is a customer base out there if you are really going with your sewing machine. Job number 5, pet sitting and dog walking, midday walks, weekend care while owners travel. Holiday coverage, that's the gold season for this one. I pet sit for a friend who has 2 big dogs every time she goes on vacation. Active body, clear boundaries, and either the apps or a plain old neighborhood word of mouth will do for this one. And price it like the responsibility that it is, because people are trusting you with their babies. So just don't become the free neighbor with treats in her purse, calendar it and invoice it. Job number 6, personal chef. The practical version. You set the menu for the week and then the family picks their meals, you cook it, and then you deliver it. Working families, they are tired of delivery app math. And 4 homemade dinners a week solves their whole life. Start with 1 or 2 families near you and let word of mouth do what it does. The good news for this one is that you don't have to have a commercial kitchen at home because there are shared commercial kitchens now that you can rent. You can also rent them to host cooking classes if you're a chef, by the way. There's one locally in the Boston area called Foundation Kitchen. I'll put the link below so you can see the rates and everything. And I think this is brilliant because it's like a whole kitchen and all you do is rent it and run your business from it. Job number 7, special event staffing, ushering, guest check-in, coat check-in, seasonal venues. And here's the part in your favor. A lot of venues, they would rather hire a reliable grown woman than gamble on somebody who might not show up. There are platforms like instawork.com, and I'll put the link below. They connect you to one-time shifts or seasonal coverage. So you work when you say yes and only when you say yes, a few evenings a month on your terms. Job number 8, and the timing of this one is perfect. College and conference catering. The campuses are starting back up and colleges run on food, catered events, conferences, banquets, daily food service, and they staff those with shift workers. So You work this hour to this hour, the event ends, and you go home. And a lot of these, they pay quickly. So the pay and scheduling, they may vary by venue. So ask when you call, because I've watched these crews work, and let me tell you, they hire reliable grown women gladly. You know exactly when it starts, you know exactly when it ends, and September is hiring season. So call the catering office at the colleges near you this week. Job number 9, teach English online to students overseas. If you speak English, there are companies that connect you to children learning English as a second language, evening and early morning hours that fit around a day job. I've put a resource below in the description that you can go through. It walks you through everything that you need to get started, requirements and all. Your kitchen table, it becomes a classroom. Job number 10, and this one is as work from home as it gets, training AI. There are platforms hiring regular people to review and improve what AI systems produce. Reading, writing, checking answers in your own language from your own couch. The one that I looked into is called Outlier. Their website is outlier.ai. And you go to their opportunities page for the current openings, because these changes often. Now, the qualifications for this one, the minimum you have to have is a bachelor degree, and some project ask for graduate level expertise in a specific subject, even PhD. Each project lists its requirements right there on the page. So those decades of experience in education the job market keeps shrugging at, the AI companies will pay for them. And one more thing from my research, they have opportunities in other countries too, including in Africa. So if you're watching me from outside of the United States, check them anyways. It's flexible, it's remote, and nobody cares how old the expert is. And this one will also be linked below. I will list all the links that I've researched for you. Job number 11, and this one is personal. If you speak 2 languages, interpretation work, medical appointments, schools, community agencies, legal offices, they need interpreters. And in a lot of cities, they cannot find enough. And listen to me, my bilingual sisters, you have been doing this job for free since you were young, interpreting at appointments for your parent, translating documents at the kitchen table, being the family official explainer of America. You've been qualified for decades. The only thing changing is that this time it comes with a rate. Job number 12. Social media management for small business owners, the salon, the restaurant, the contractor. They know they need to post and they hate doing it. You handle the posting, the captions, the replies, and hear me on pricing, because I heard somebody quote their rate for this and I almost fell over on how low it was. At $500 a month per client, you can get 4 small clients, and that's $2,000 a month. I did it. And I charged $500 per client, and I had 5 clients per month. So that's $2,500 a month. So price it like the marketing department that you're replacing, not like a favor. Job number 13, virtual assistant. And let me say something to the business coaches first. If a coach is out there bragging that they do it all themselves, that is not the flex that they think it is. Somebody who paid you $5,000 for your services is not getting their money's worth, and you refusing to delegate is exactly why. And if you're claiming that you're making 6 figures and you see absolutely no need for an assistant, you're lying about your income. I said what I said, which means this: real online business owners with real businesses are hiring. They're hiring to manage their inbox, their calendar, their social media posts. You don't need to be techie. You need to be reliable, discreet, and faster than their chaos. And my expert tip on that one, don't offer to do everything. Specialize in one thing that you do very well, because that's really what they are actually shopping for. You don't need to be a jack of all trades. Trust me, they're looking for experts in one platform, expert in one specific skill. Job number 14, bookkeeping for small businesses, the salon, the contractor, the church ministry, the food store, accounts receivable, clean records, QuickBooks, and an honest spreadsheet. People would even pay you to show them how to use QuickBooks in their business. If numbers is something that calm you down instead of spinning you out, somebody's small business will gladly pay for that peace of mind every single month. So, of course, start with one client and one monthly fee, and let word of mouth do its job. Job number 15, become a notary. You get commission in your state, and then it's loan documents, affidavits, real estate packages, per signing pay that adds up, especially evenings and weekends if you go mobile. And there is actually a platform now that let you notarize online from your house. It is notarize.com. The link is also below. It's paperwork and a stamp, and it's real money. Job number 16, another great one that you can put on TaskRabbit, furniture assembly and small household tasks. You know how they sell you a whole bedroom set and then one little tiny tool to build it with? There are people on TaskRabbit whose entire business is being the person who actually enjoy assembling that furniture, hanging shelves, mounting TVs, small fixes. And I know this market from this customer side because I've hired from these platforms myself. And here's the honest math. The platform takes its cut. So treat it as your advertising place, the place where your name gets out and your rating gets built. Then, of course, the neighborhood does what neighborhoods do. One person recommends you, and the repeat works comes to you directly. Job number 17, grocery shopping and delivery. Now listen, I have done this job myself, so I'm about to give you the masterclass that nobody gave me when I started. The apps have a rating system, and your ratings are your paycheck. So here's how you play it smart. First, control your radius. I kept mine tight, about 2.5 to 3 miles, because here's the quiet math. When a batch has 3 customers inside 2.5 miles, those people are in the same neighborhood. So you shop once, you drive one little loop, done. The pickers who chase every single order all over are burning their profit in gas and time. And now the part that separates the $0 tip from the $50 tips. And yes, I've even received a $100 tip. So here's the service tip. The item that you're shopping for them is not available. Let's say you have to grab a substitute. Message them and let them know that the 15-ounce size is not available. They only have 8 ounce. Do they want you to grab 1 or 2? Which would you like? When you're done shopping, send them a text. I'm done. Anything else you want me to add to your order? When you deliver, send the photo that your order is delivered and tell them to have a good day. And bag like you care. Cold things go together. Raw meat in its own bag away from everything else. Chemicals nowhere near food. Simple things. And one more thing. Do not put your customer's thing in your trunk with a lot of dirty things, because people have cameras at their door now. They will see, trust me, and they will give you a bad rating for that. And people have been receiving crushed bread and warm milk from strangers for years. And when they finally land on somebody who treats their groceries like their own, they remember that and they tip and they hope for you by name next time. So some customers, they hold the tip too until they see how you do, how the stuff gets delivered to them. So give them a reason to tip you and tip you well. Job number 18, and this one is for my women who like the shopping, but they do not want to drive to strangers' place. They do not want to drive strangers' grocery around. They just want to shop in the store. So Whole Food does that through Amazon. You work inside one store. Orders come in, you shop them, you bag them, you label them, and then you stage them, and then the driver comes to collect them to go deliver them. You never leave the building. They train you. Speed in this one is the skill, and once you know the store's layout, you can fly. Last time I checked, you could make at least $20 an hour, and check the current rate for your location because these change. If there is a Whole Food near you, look up Amazon Flex Shopper job for that that location. Air conditioning, no gas money, and then you clock out, you go home. Easy. Job number 19, and most women have never even heard of this one. Audible, the audiobook company, has a paid program called Next Chapter, and it's built specifically for people coming back to work after a gap on their resume. Even if you have the gap for caregiving, raising your kids, whatever life required of you. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's competitive and it opens in Windows. So this is something that you need to bookmark and watch, right? But if the gap on your resume has been the thing that is stopping you, hear this. Audible built a whole front door for that gap. And I'm going to put the link below for you. Job number 20. And this one has requirements, so listen close. The Senior Community Service Employment Program, SCSEP, it runs through the AARP Foundation. Yes, the AARP that sends you a letter saying happy birthday as soon as you turn 50 years old. But this job, if you are 55 or older, you are currently unemployed, and you are living on a low income, this program matches you with a paid part-time training assignments around 20 hours a week at daycare, senior centers, schools, hospitals. So you earn while you train, and it goes on your resume, and they help place you in a job after that. It's not for everybody because the eligibility is very specific for that one. But if you are in that exact spot right now, feeling like nobody's hiring you, this program was literally built for you. Now, one truth before the last one, the part that these list videos always skip. None of these are passive income, not one. Anybody telling you women over 50, they can make money doing nothing is selling fantasy to people who cannot afford fantasy. Every job on this list can put real money in your hands, some within days, and every one of them costs effort. So match the job to your actual skill. Take one or two, not five, and you are not behind for starting over with one, okay? All right, now finally, job number 21, the one I actually chose. Only 2 years ago, I sat where you might be sitting right now, looking at a list just like this one, and the option that I picked was start a YouTube channel and talk about what I know. Now, before you say Webley, that's the 18-month thing that you cut from this list. Hear the whole truth because I keep this channel honest. The ad money, yes, that part took time. I've made whole videos about that part. But the channel started working long before the platform paid me a cent. It ended my invisibility, and invisible is the most expensive thing that a woman with skills can be. People saw what I knew, and people who see what you know, they start paying for what you know. The classes, the sessions, the services. Half the jobs on this list get easier the moment people can find you. And remember the towel lady from the Alterations story? A woman in her 60s with a sewing machine, a good idea, and a channel where the whole world could find her. That's the move underneath the move. Her sewing was the job, but the channel is what turned her sewing into orders from strangers that she's never met. 7 months into this reboot, this thing pays me. Built at my big age of 51 years old with a phone and a little microphone. And the reason I put it last is not because it is the best one. It's because it's the one that multiplies all the others. Whatever you picked from this list today, the version of you who is visible, it charges more for it than the version of you that is hidden. So here's your next move. And I mean this week, not someday. Pick one job from this list. One that respects your body, that respects your schedule, and that respects your pride. Start smaller than your ego wants, and charge sooner than your upbringing allows, because you don't need permission to start over. You need a second birth. And sometimes the first contraction is an invoice. Now, if you want the exact process behind the one that I chose, job number 21, everything I did in the order that I would do it again, doors open in September, and the wait list is at the top of the description. Founding price will be for the woman on that list. There will be no countdown theater, okay? Now, I want you to tell me in the comments and be specific. because I read every single one of your comments. Which number are you starting this month? Not someday, this month. Put the number down below. And if money's been tight and you've been quiet about it, hear me. You are not behind. You are early to your second birth. And I'll see you in the next one.